For more than 2 centuries, Oak Island has guarded a mystery no one has been able to solve. Whispers of the Knights Templar, hidden vaults, and forbidden symbols have fascinated explorers for generations. Each clue uncovered only seemed to raise more questions, until now. Rick and Marty Lagina may have finally unearthed the truth buried deep beneath the island's surface. Gold engraved with ancient seals, artifacts marked with centuries-old Templar emblems, and tunnels leading to chambers untouched for hundreds of years have been found. But something else was discovered in the darkness. Strange carvings on stone walls, unexplained movements caught on camera, and an eerie sense that something, or someone, was watching. This is no longer just a hunt for treasure. It's about secrets powerful enough to rewrite history itself. Welcome to the Oak Island Revelation. Stay tuned, because what happens next could change everything we thought we knew. Subscribe now and turn on notifications. Each new discovery could be even more extraordinary. Just hearing the name Oak Island sends chills down the spine. This small island off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, has been the center of one of the world's greatest mysteries for centuries. The story begins in 1795, when 3 young men, Daniel McGuinness, John Smith, and Anthony Vaughan, stumbled upon something that would change their lives forever. They found a strange depression in the ground, as if digging had once taken place there. Out of curiosity, they began to excavate. A few feet down, they hit a layer of thick wooden planks. Beneath that was soil, and then more planks at regular intervals, about every 10 feet. The pattern continued, leading them to believe that this was no ordinary pit. Someone, long ago, had deliberately buried something deep within. As news spread, so did the theories. Some claimed it was pirate treasure. Others believed it was the lost fortune of the Knights Templar. A few even suggested it hid secrets of ancient civilizations or sacred religious artifacts. Over the years, countless expeditions have tried to solve the riddle of Oak Island. Some used the latest technology, while others poured fortunes into their searches. Yet every attempt seemed to end in failure or tragedy. Flooding stopped the digs, equipment was lost, and sometimes lives were too. The deeper explorers went, the more mysterious the so-called money pit became. Still, the legend never died. Every few years, new teams would arrive, full of funding, determination, and hope that they would be the ones to uncover the truth. But Oak Island seems to have a mind of its own. Each time it reveals a small clue, it hides something even bigger. More than 200 years later, its secret remains one of the greatest enigmas in history. That's why Rick and Marty Lagina's discovery is so remarkable. If what they've found is genuine, Oak Island may finally be ready to reveal its biggest secret. The story of the Knights Templar sounds like something out of a movie. A powerful religious and military order that once dominated Europe and the Middle East before mysteriously vanishing, leaving behind nothing but myths and unanswered questions. The Templars were founded in 1119 AD, originally to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land over time. They grew into a formidable organization with their own armies, vast wealth, and direct connections to kings and queens across Europe. They became known not only as holy warriors, but also as trusted financiers and protectors. But with power came enemies. In 1307, King Philip IV of France, with the support of Pope Clement V, accused the Templars of heresy, secret rituals, and conspiracy. Though these charges were never proven, on October 13, 1307, Templars across France were arrested overnight, and from that moment, the Templars, and perhaps their secrets, disappeared from history. Some believe those secrets may have found their way to a small, mysterious island off the coast of Nova Scotia, Oak Island. Many of the captured Templars were brutally tortured, and their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was ultimately burned alive. But the true mystery begins even before their downfall, because by the time the arrests took place, the Templar treasure had already disappeared. And it wasn't just gold or silver. Legends claim it included sacred relics, ancient manuscripts, and perhaps even the Holy Grail itself, objects that have inspired stories and myths for centuries. Historians believe that before their fall, the Templars entrusted their most loyal knights with the task of hiding their priceless treasures. To this day, no one knows exactly where it went. That's where Oak Island enters the legend. Some theories suggest that the Templars sailed across the Atlantic, carrying their treasure from Europe to a distant and secret refuge. At the top of that list stands Nova Scotia's enigmatic Oak Island. The incredible depth of the money pit, the complex flood tunnels, and the strange markings found there remind many researchers of the Templars' advanced engineering and their obsession with secrecy. Adding to the intrigue, stones discovered on Oak Island during the 18th and 19th centuries were carved with symbols that closely resemble the distinctive Templar cross. Some even claim that ancient carvings near the island perfectly match the official seal of the Knights Templar. Not everyone agrees, of course. Some historians dismiss these connections as mere coincidence, yet others are convinced that Oak Island is the final resting place of the Templars' lost treasure. Whether truth or legend, the connection between the Templars and Oak Island has become so intertwined that it's nearly impossible to separate the two. And now, when modern explorers like Rick and Marty Lagina claim to have found signs of centuries-old Templar gold, the mystery only deepens. Perhaps, just perhaps, we are getting closer to uncovering a secret buried more than 700 years ago. At the beginning of this season, Rick and Marty made it clear that their mission on Oak Island would be their boldest yet. For years, they had dug, searched, and faced setback after setback. But this time felt different. In front of the cameras, they declared, "Now it's time for Oak Island to reveal its real secret." The season began with a detailed strategy meeting. The entire team gathered to analyze every previous expedition, every clue, every failure, and every near success. They knew each dig carried enormous risks: sudden flooding, ground collapse, or months of effort leading to yet another dead end. But this time, they vowed to proceed carefully, learning from every mistake made before. Their first focus was technology. In past years, they had used traditional tools: metal detectors, drilling rigs, and water extraction systems. This time, they brought in the latest ground-penetrating radar, GPR, and advanced 3D scanning equipment. These technologies could generate detailed images of what lay beneath the surface, helping them identify potential tunnels, chambers, or man-made structures before they ever lifted a shovel. Next came the most critical decision: choosing exactly where to dig. Oak Island has several famous sites: the Money Pit, Smith's Cove, Borehole 10X, and the North Swamp. The team reviewed every historical record and combined it with the newest radar data. That's when they pinpointed a location that stood out from the rest. This spot had always shown strange signs: unusual metal readings, linear underwater formations, and even a curious mark on old maps. What made it even more intriguing was that no major excavation had ever been done there. Historical records contained only scattered references, as if someone had purposely tried to keep the area hidden. Rick was convinced that if the Templars truly did conceal their legendary treasure, this site might hold the answer. With the plan finalized, the crew prepared the area for excavation. Heavy machinery moved in, water pumps were installed, and safety barricades surrounded the site. Marty, ever the practical and organized leader, handled logistics, schedules, budgets, and deadlines, while Rick focused on the deeper meaning behind the dig: the centuries-old clues, the Templar legends, and the mystery that had brought them to Oak Island in the first place. When the massive drill finally began to cut into the earth, a tense silence settled over the entire crew. Every eye was fixed on the monitor, waiting to see what secrets might lie below. Then, the scanner detected something metallic. Rick's face lit up with a subtle, knowing smile, as if he truly believed that this time, Oak Island was ready to surrender its greatest secret. That moment marked the real beginning of their most ambitious excavation yet, one that could uncover one of history's greatest mysteries, a story written in strange symbols and hidden clues. Only a few days into the dig, Oak Island began to reveal its first hints of what was buried below. As the drill went deeper, the team started pulling out unusual objects from the soil and stone layers. Their first find was a collection of old, hand-carved wooden fragments, clearly ancient and man-made. But the real surprise came when they unearthed a large stone covered in mysterious carvings. These weren't ordinary markings. They were crosses, triangles, and unfamiliar symbols that looked like the language of a long-lost civilization. Rick had the stone immediately cleaned, photographed, and sent to specialists for analysis. Not long after, historians confirmed what Rick had suspected. The carvings bore an uncanny resemblance to the seal of the Knights Templar. As the dig went on, another remarkable discovery followed: a small metal object buried deep underground. Once cleaned, it turned out to be an old seal engraved with the same mysterious cross, surrounded by letters written in an ancient, undeciphered script. No one on the team could read the language. Some believed it was Latin, while others thought it might be something even older. But the biggest surprise was yet to come. A fragile piece of parchment, badly damaged by years of moisture. The team carefully extracted it and sent it to the dry lab. After gentle chemical treatment, faint lines began to reappear, forming what looked like a map. The map showed a section of Oak Island marked with a large X, indicating the location of what appeared to be an underground chamber. Rick stared at it in disbelief and whispered, "If this is real, we're standing right above the greatest treasure in history." Marty was skeptical, but couldn't hide the spark of excitement on his face. The possibility of an underground chamber reignited the team's determination. They began drilling exactly where the map indicated. As the drill descended, it suddenly broke into an empty space nearly 100 feet down. Everyone's attention snapped to the monitor. The camera revealed a smooth, flat surface, like the walls of a carefully constructed stone chamber. Not wanting to risk anything, Rick ordered a special waterproof camera, built to record in tight, flooded spaces. As it was lowered into the opening, the screen at first showed only swirling silt and cloudy water. Then the view shifted, and a faint golden shimmer appeared. "Are you seeing this?" Rick's voice trembled slightly. Marty leaned closer to the screen. "That's gold, solid gold." The camera crept forward, and the light revealed the source, a wooden chest, its edges gleaming with gold. But that wasn't all. Scattered around it were strange metallic fragments, pieces of pottery, and walls etched with more ancient symbols. The discovery thrilled the crew, but it also brought a chilling realization. The chamber was half filled with pale green water, likely contaminated with chemicals. Entering it could be deadly. "If that water's toxic, we can't go down there. We'll have to pump it out, and that could take weeks," Marty warned. Though restless, Rick agreed that patience was their only safe option. That night, as preparations for draining the chamber began, something unsettling happened. The motion sensors around the site suddenly went off. Security cameras captured the shadowy outline of a figure standing at a distance, watching. No one knew who it was or why they were there, but the message was clear. Someone else was interested in Oak Island's secret. The team immediately doubled security. When the team returned to inspect the chamber the next morning, the box was still there. But something felt wrong. The soil around it appeared disturbed, as if someone or something had tried to reach it during the night. A chill ran through the group. It was now clear. They weren't alone in their search for Oak Island's treasure. Their mission took on a new urgency: drain the chamber, get inside, and recover the box before anyone else could. Everything seemed to be running smoothly. The pumps worked continuously, cameras streamed live footage from the chamber, and the crew believed they'd have the chest out within a few days. But one night changed everything. Around 2 a.m., the motion alarms went off again. Security guards rushed to the monitors and froze. There was a blurry, human-like figure moving across the excavation site. The intruder walked directly toward the tent where the team kept their maps and research documents. When Rick reviewed the footage, his face tightened with concern. "This isn't some random trespasser," he said grimly. "He knows exactly where to go, and what to look for." Marty's voice was firm. "We're not just digging anymore. We're protecting history." By the next morning, security around the site had been doubled. High barricades surrounded the entire area, extra cameras were installed, and guards were stationed at every entrance. GPS trackers were even attached to the heavy machinery to ensure nothing could be moved or tampered with. The tension was unmistakable. Everyone on the team understood that a discovery of this magnitude could attract attention from all over the world, and possibly from people who wanted the treasure to stay buried forever. After several long days of pumping and preparation, the big moment finally arrived. The chamber was clear, the equipment ready. Floodlights illuminated the site, and a massive crane waited beside the pit. Waterproof cameras, drills, and safety harnesses were all in position. Rick gathered his team and spoke with quiet conviction. "What we uncover today doesn't belong to us. It belongs to history." The crane hook was carefully lowered into the chamber. The ancient chest, still half submerged in murky water, was secured with thick ropes. Everyone held their breath as the crane began to lift. Water streamed down from the box as it slowly rose, gleaming under the lights. The atmosphere was electric, the kind of tense anticipation that only happens once in a lifetime. When the chest finally broke the surface, the crew gasped. A faint golden shimmer lined its wooden frame, and the unmistakable Templar cross stood out clearly on the lid. Even after centuries underwater, the golden edges of the chest glowed as if time itself had been waiting for this moment. Marty reached forward and carefully opened the lid. For a moment, there was total silence. Then the entire team froze, awestruck. Inside, the box was filled with gleaming gold bars, their surfaces reflecting the floodlights. Nestled among them were priceless relics, weathered swords, a beautifully crafted cup, and an ornate seal that seemed to belong to a high-ranking Templar knight. Rick's eyes welled with emotion. "This isn't just treasure," he whispered. "It's proof. The legend is real." The team stood motionless, overwhelmed with disbelief and joy. After years of digging through mud, enduring storms, setbacks, and endless challenges, Oak Island had finally revealed its greatest secret. Cameras captured everything. The astonished faces, the brilliant glow of gold, and the powerful sense of history and triumph that filled the air. Within hours, the footage spread across the globe. Social media erupted with excitement. News outlets called it the discovery of the century, while historians hailed it as the most convincing evidence yet of the long-lost Knights Templar treasure, hidden for more than 700 years. For Rick and Marty, the adventure was far from finished. They both knew that this discovery was just the beginning. If one chest had been found, there might be others buried deeper beneath the island. Their goal was now crystal clear: recover the remaining treasure before anyone else could get to it. News of their incredible find spread across the globe within hours. Local news outlets were the first to break the story. Rick and Marty Lagina uncover centuries-old Templar gold on Oak Island. Before long, it became an international sensation, featured on BBC, CNN, and National Geographic. The whole world was talking about Oak Island. Social media erupted with excitement. The island trended on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as millions shared clips and screenshots of the discovery. Some zoomed in on the glittering gold, while others analyzed the faint Templar cross engraved on the chest, fueling countless theories. Online forums like Reddit and Facebook were filled with debates. Some convinced the centuries-old mystery had finally been solved, while skeptics dismissed it as a publicity stunt. Then came the next twist. Wealthy private collectors and even governments began to take notice. Rumors circulated that collectors had quietly approached the Lagina brothers with offers, saying, "Name your price. We want that box." But before any deal could happen, the Nova Scotia government intervened, issuing an official statement. All artifacts and treasures found on Oak Island were now protected under the province's heritage protection law. And just when it seemed things couldn't get any more dramatic, another surprise emerged: the Vatican. Reports claimed that church representatives were on their way to Nova Scotia. Many believed that if the treasure truly belonged to the Knights Templar, the Vatican would claim ownership, citing the Templars' deep historical connection to the Catholic Church. Almost overnight, Oak Island transformed. What was once a quiet excavation site became a global spectacle. Journalists, historians, and researchers flooded the island. Helicopters circled overhead, Coast Guard boats patrolled the surrounding waters, and armored vehicles guarded the perimeter. Oak Island had become part archaeological site, part media circus. For Rick and Marty, the moment was both exhilarating and overwhelming. They had achieved what generations of explorers only dreamed of, but now they faced an even bigger challenge. They had to protect the treasure, comply with legal requirements, and navigate the immense global attention. All eyes were on them and the legendary gold of Oak Island. Historians around the world reacted with mixed opinions, making the story even more fascinating. Some were thrilled. "We've said for years that Oak Island and the Knights Templar are connected," one historian remarked. "This discovery is solid proof." According to these experts, the symbols on the chest, the style of the gold bars, and the artifacts inside all match the known era and craftsmanship of the Templars. One prominent archaeologist even declared that this find could mark the end of the greatest mystery in history. Others, however, were far more skeptical. They argued that it was too soon to declare the treasure authentic based solely on appearance. Until carbon dating and full scientific analysis were completed, they warned, no one could confirm the gold's true age or origin. Some even suggested that the treasure might have been hidden centuries later by someone trying to make the Templar legend appear real. The debate quickly spread through the media and online communities. Some hailed Rick and Marty as the world's most successful treasure hunters, while others accused them of staging the entire event for television ratings. Rick and Marty, however, stayed calm and composed. "What we found is right in front of everyone," they said. "We'll let science and history decide the truth." Whether people believed it or not, one thing was certain: Oak Island would never be the same again. The discovery had reignited the world's fascination with mystery and legend, proving once more that no matter how much time passes, humanity's love for secrets hidden beneath the earth never fades. And perhaps that's the true power of Oak Island. It offers answers, but also creates new mysteries. Even after the discovery of the first treasure chest, the island refused to reveal all its secrets. Instead, this find only deepened the enigma, raising more questions than it solved. The biggest question was, why now? Why was the treasure uncovered after more than 2 centuries of searching? For over 200 years, countless explorers had come and gone, spending millions of dollars and risking their lives, yet none had achieved this level of success. Was it pure luck? Or was something else at play? Some believe that recent shifts in weather patterns and sea tides may have altered the underground structures, briefly exposing the hidden passages that led the team to the right spot. Others suggest something even stranger, that perhaps fate or some unseen force wanted this discovery to happen now. Is Oak Island truly connected to the Knights Templar? Could the legendary Holy Grail, or another sacred relic, still lie buried beneath its soil? And the biggest question of all, could this discovery change everything we thought we knew about history? One thing is certain, the mystery of Oak Island is far from over. And if you don't want to miss what comes next, make sure to subscribe, because the next revelation could change everything.